right, welcome back to another episode of High Takes. We appreciate anyone who's tuning in right now. Um, Another great weekend of sports to catch up on. Big Ten football is back, which we love to see. More sports coming back. Great week of NFL. Started early Thursday night. Love to see my Philadelphia Eagles win. And then continued. The Cowboys lost, which makes it a great week. Any week.
As always, the Cowboys.
Yeah, screw them. We'll get into them later on this episode. I got a lot of thoughts on them. Simply not that we all know they're bad, but what makes them bad, and obviously Andy Dalton. But it's so much more than just a backup quarterback, who now they're on their third stringer after he took a dirty hit. Of course, we hate to see that Tim's Penn State the Lions lost. But Tim, you want to offer some insight into that? Of course, any key opt-outs, but what it's looking like the rest of the way. We know they're going to be playing third-ranked, second-ranked Ohio State next week. It's not going to be looking good if they go down 0-2.
Except that we won't be going down 0-2. We're actually 0-0 right now. Let's get that through our heads.
So
it's a new season. That's just that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. One, the ball didn't even go in the freaking the end zone. Why was the ruling on the field a touchdown? And then they couldn't even prove that it was a touchdown.
Yeah, so it was overtime, correct?
It was.
So it was overtime. Of course, look, all football overtime suck. The NFL overtime rules are terrible, and college is even worse. It's like the shootout to get 25 yards into the end zone. And then whoever's up at the end of the period.
It's like you start at the 40 and then you're just going down.
And so that's just a terrible system as is.
I do like that they both get a chance.
Yeah.
That's something that NFL needs to change.
That's nice. But how this game with Penn State ended, but the quarterback kept the ball and ran it, right? Or did he?
Yeah, freaking, what's his name? Sean Clifford or whatever his name was.
Yeah. So
he had a real nice run one time, but he didn't do much else in the game.
Yeah.
And just frustration, bro. But also I don't know. Micah Parsons, who's arguably one of the best players that Penn State had, opted out, but that was way back when. And now basically our first two running backs, Noah Kane and I'm forgetting another name right now. They are both injured as well. So it's not looking too good for us heading into this week against OSU. But it is home, so hopefully that should help.
Yeah, of course. I think he started the week ranked in the AP poll at number 8 and dropped down all the way to 18, I believe, which is definitely not looking great for any run for a good bowl game. Or, of course, I mean, you were low-key playoff hopefuls. I didn't think it was going to happen, but low-key in that playoff picture. But now I think it's looking so much more out of reach with Ohio State next week.
For sure.
As much as I want to say, the refs screwed you on that last play, the ball was out of bounds before the ball crossed the plane, and it shouldn't have been good. But do you really think
we did that to ourselves?
I feel like you guys put yourself in a bad position. I mean, the game shouldn't have gone to overtime anyway. I think you guys killed yourself with turnovers.
And I think the one thing that's on the coaching staff for that game, or maybe two things, they ran the same play about 5 times where they just run it in front. They did that on the goal line, and then they had a pass to Pat Freiermuth. So their calls sometimes are questionable, but also the fact that no one really stapled into the minds of the players don't score a touchdown. I don't know. If I was a player, that's something I would have to have in my mind, and that's something I bet a lot of coaches would say to their players to do. So I don't know if they said it or didn't, but who knows.
Yeah, of course. You notice there were key opt-outs in the season. Shoot, I just had a thought and I lost it. But how's the rest
Well,
of the Big Ten looking? You think right now after 1 week? I mean, I think Wisconsin.
I think
Excuse me.
Wisconsin's got the
Wisconsin's
West.
looking good, but their quarterback's out 3 weeks with COVID protocols. Um,
I mean, who do
Ohio
they
State, as
play?
always, I mean they're just going to soar. I think through this this conference only schedule. So how are you seeing the rest play out the rest of the way? I mean, for Penn State specifically, but I mean, I think look Ohio State. I think they're going to go undefeated.
Um, well, I mean, I want to believe in Penn State, but Ohio's scary. I don't know. And I hate to say it because I don't know. It is looking like they're gonna win out, and I don't want to see that.
Yeah, of course. How was campus reacting to like leading up to the game, and then like of course the disappointing loss? I feel like it's kind of crazy. I feel like were there any like big like watch parties or anything? I mean, I know Penn
Yeah,
State's been pretty strict on it, so how did that all work out?
there are areas that there were a lot of people, but like it was all outside. Like nothing was really inside for the games. And it wasn't like it was like a lot of people. Like it was a lot of people relative to what people are used to in COVID times,
Yeah,
but nothing near to like what it could be. And even like around campus, like people were like in their rooms watching the games with people, all that stuff, and you could hear people like yelling and cheering, like outside.
yeah.
And
Did it feel like what you want? I'm sure it wasn't like what you pictured a Penn
not
State
at
game
all.
day being, but like was the energy there at all?
I mean, there's energy for sure. Everyone's excited, but it's definitely not the same thing as being able to go tailgate and
Yeah, of course. No, like
watch
when
the in person.
last year when we were watching that whiteout game at Iron Hill with Colin, I was like, man,
Yeah,
that's where I need to be. Like it's like of course Penn State main campus didn't want me for whatever reason, but it is what it is. Dude, I can't believe that.
could have
Uh,
appealed, bro.
like it makes no sense. And now, but it is
I
what
mean,
it is. What?
I don't know how I got into here, but I didn't get into South Carolina.
Oh, dude, that's crazy. Was there anything like South Carolina happened on their game day last week where like 2,000 students were just throwing a
Dude,
banger in the parking lots?
that's where I wanted to be. Dude, it looked warm. Everyone's having a good
Yeah,
time.
nothing like that even like sparked at Penn State.
No, no,
No
no.
one even
That's
attempted.
no. There was parties like that stuff happened, but it wasn't like in the streets and stuff. Like it
Okay.
wasn't out of control. Like it was in areas that like it would be like an apartment complex and it would just be in like the back of like there, like in there, like outside.
Yeah. No.
Like the South Carolina scene was like a bunch of fucking houses and then everyone was in the street and stuff. That's it wasn't as much like that here.
Yeah. So seemed like the culture is pretty good. I mean, first game of COVID, Big Ten's back, and everyone was excited. What fascinates me about the game is how Indiana though went from an unranked team to 17th in the AP poll. That just doesn't make sense to me. They had one good game that was it was more Penn State playing poorly than Indiana playing great.
Yeah, and it's weird that they're ranked above Penn State now.
Yeah, they went from unranked to 17th. Um, I think I saw some. It was their first win against like
Oh, a top AP top 10 team since
yeah
like 3 or something.
yeah like
Long ago.
so I don't know who like they messed up on these rankings. I'm gonna say it.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's not right. To have one bad game, drop 10 spots, and for Indiana to have one all right game and become ranked,
Yeah.
that blows my mind. Like I'm taking Oklahoma's 3-2 right now, but they're better than Indiana and they're ranked 24.
Oh, I would take Oklahoma in a second.
I take Oklahoma any day. I'd take. No, I would not take Coastal Carolina. Uh, that's a toss up. I'd take USC. Southern California. I'd take Southern California over them. They haven't played yet, but
Do they play? Pac-12. Does Pac-12 come back?
Pac-12 is coming back. They're playing a 7-game conference schedule.
When's their first game?
I want to say. Let me double check. I had this. I knew when it was coming back. Pac-12 conference schedule.
Why is Notre Dame ranked fourth?
Notre Dame is rolling. They're playing their ACC schedule. They're in the ACC this year.
It's the ACC, dude. It's everyone in Clemson.
They deserve that. They deserve that number 4 spot.
Okay, they beat Duke, USF. Wow, they really do deserve that number 1 spot for beating USF and Duke. Real hard to do. And you got Florida State. Okay. They beat Louisville 12-7.
What kind of Notre Dame is a defensive team, which is weird to say for a college football team. I feel like, but they're a defensive football team.
You know, I'm gonna say you can make that argument because they have held the people down to low-scoring games. However,
they held Pitt to 3 points.
Like Pitt.
They held Pitt to 3 points.
Yeah. Okay. That's
so,
fair.
Louisville only scored 7.
They're going to play Clemson and get clapped.
Oh, I think that's going to be close. That's going to be a close game, I think.
Okay. That happens in 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Look, it's right now. It's Clemson holds the number 1 spot and Notre Dame's at 4. But the ACC's on the rise. Give it another 2 years. Give them another 2 recruiting classes, and ACC will be better than the Pac or the Big 12. I think they're creeping up on it. I mean, they currently have 4 ranked teams in the top 25, and they're a strong 4 teams with UNC, Miami, Notre Dame, and Clemson. I mean, Miami, we don't know how long they're going to last, really. I mean, they got their transfer veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's
everyone coming in for next year.
So I'm not sure what our plan is right now, but De'Aaron King is doing a pretty good job. I mean, they got the run going a bit more this past weekend so they could let him get the ball downfield a little more. So I'm liking that. Their hardest game down the stretch now, they're halfway through the season, is going to be UNC. I mean, they fell short of a comeback they almost got blown out by FSU. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you think the college football playoff is going to work? Do you think it's going to be like...
What, 4 teams right now?
No. Do you think it's going to be like... Do you think they're going to do it as like winner of Big Ten, winner of blah, winner? Because they're all small like schedules, so you can't really like compare.
I think it's going to be very subjective because there's teams that don't have similar like opponents. I think they're just it's going to be an it's going to be an eyeball test. It's who looks the best.
Maybe, dude. I'm just thinking say all right, say Ohio State loses, right?
Yeah. Oh, we will. We're going to see a two loss team in the playoff.
You think?
I think we can.
But what conference they're coming from?
If Oklahoma can win out, they'll make the playoff.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a bold statement.
That's a high take right there. But
that is a high take. Well, who did they lose to?
They lost to
Because if they just lost it to like really average teams and then somehow went out.
Let's see. I know I've been watching like all their games. I don't know why I can't remember this.
I feel like that'd be a bit different than a team winning the actual.
All right, they lost to Kansas State, which that's the second year in a row they lost to Kansas State. And they lost to Iowa State. But they beat Texas, and they beat Texas in overtime, and they beat TCU with authority. So the rest of the way, they got Texas Tech, Kansas, Oklahoma State, which is ranked 6th, West Virginia, and Baylor.
That's going to be an interesting schedule for them.
So if they can beat Oklahoma State with authority and win out the rest, I'm taking them to be a 2-loss team in the playoff.
That's a hot take.
How do you see like the playoff? Like, do you think it's just going to be?
I think it's
conference champion.
I think it's going to be like. Well, it's hard to say because then there's the Power Five or Big Five, whatever the hell it's called. And you leave one team out. That's kind of an eyeball.
The Pac-12 isn't going to make the
Pac-12 team did not.
The only person who has a shot, the only team with a shot, I'd say, is USC. Possibly
Really?
Oregon.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's looking good for any of them.
Yeah, so then that's my point, right? So then you have like, all right, if Clemson, I honestly think Clemson's going to win out. There's no way they lose to Notre Dame. I'd put my life savings on that.
Oh. So you would? Because that means right now, that means a lot right now. Actually, it means a little less right now than it used to.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be Clemson. I think it's either going to be Alabama or Georgia. And the winner of the Big Ten, and then a toss-up between who's the fourth. That's the eyeball team that I think is going to happen.
I mean, it's possible. I think the first committee ranking show is the 17th. I want to say.
This of November?
Yep.
That's not that far away.
Yeah, we got another 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Of course.
Different sports topic altogether, though. Do you think OJ did it?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna tell you, it's all about the gloves.
And the gloves did
not fit. The gloves did not fit. So,
well, what's he do?
He didn't do anything. If the gloves don't fit,
what's the quit?
It doesn't make sense.
I'm saying we should get someone on the call who thinks he is innocent or he thinks he is guilty.
All right. So, do you want to get them on right now? If we can, I don't know if anyone's listening, but if anyone is listening to High Takes right now, tweet us, DM us on Twitter @hightakes_, and we'll send you the link to join our Zoom call. Join the call right now.
And you can win up to $50.
You can. There is a chance. There's a chance to win.
Up to $50 if you win the debate.
Well, we do have one person who I'm not sure if they will be joining us, but they said they are tuning into the show.
Is this Mitch?
No.
Oh.
This is
This is Shondor.
It is. He was
on this whole time.
This is a Pac-12 guy, actually. We got a Pac-12 guy. On. But no, the gloves didn't fit. So OJ was innocent. But with that, I think that's a good segue right into the NFL. So let's just dive right into it. One undefeated team left. Is Pittsburgh the best team in the NFL right now?
No. I would say yes, but I don't like how they like give up these late. Like, I know they don't blow the leads, but like they just give up a lot of late points. Like, they gave up a lot of late points to the Titans. They gave a lot of late points to the Eagles. I don't know. There's just something weird about it. I do think they're a really good team.
I do think they're really good.
Their offense has proven a lot, and their defense has been doing well, but it's just shaky in the end. I think they need to improve on that.
Yeah, but I think they finally recovered from the turmoil of all their, 2018 drama, I guess, when Antonio Brown and Le'Veon left.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been the same since 2017 when they were last in the playoffs, when they lost to Jacksonville in the divisional round game after being after going 13-3 and having a first round bye in the playoffs. So I think Pittsburgh's looking pretty good. Mike Tomlin, of course. Is being the same coach he always has been, leads the team and implements a great game plan. Works well with Big Ben. Big Ben is like this. He's a big play quarterback, and I mean he will make some mistakes. I think he threw two or three interceptions this past game.
Yeah, he threw that risky.
He threw three interceptions and 2 touchdowns with a 65% completion rate.
How many yards?
That's how it's going. I like them. I will change my stance. I took Baltimore to win the division for their 3rd straight year, but now I have to change that. I don't think Baltimore is the same as they were last year. I mean, of course, we knew that we'd see some regression because it's hard to go 14-2 2 years in a row. But no, the Steelers are the team to beat in the AFC North. Would you take that, or are you still riding with the Ravens?
I'm looking at it right now. I don't know. It really is just all on Lamar's confidence. That's what I feel like it is. Because if the offense is rolling, the offense is rolling. But if like Lamar is like throwing terrible throws, then obviously he's going to get into his head.
For their offense to roll, though, they have to be the ones scoring first, getting points on the board.
Yeah.
And if they can't do that, they're not really going. So I mean, I'm kind of lost there. I think I lost a little faith on them. I still think they're a great football team, great defense, and Lamar still. I mean, he's a freak of nature with his athleticism, but they give up on the run. Once they go down 1 score, they try passing it downfield, and I mean, who's their number 1 target right now? It's not Mark Andrews is great, but they try getting it deep.
Brown hurt?
What?
Is Brown hurt?
I don't think so. But they try getting it deep to him too often, and if it's an incomplete, they just keep losing downs on that, and suddenly they find themselves in like a 3rd and long. And they're relying on Lamar to be a magician like he is, but it doesn't work out. So that's my take in the AFC North. I'm taking the Steelers to take the division. Possibly, I think they're a 3 seed. I think they're a 3 seed in the playoffs. But with only one team getting a first round bye now, it's not that big a deal.
If the season ended today, the 4-2 Niners would witness the home game.
You said the 4-2.
The 4-2 Niners would miss the playoffs, and then we would host the home game.
Oh yeah, no. I'm aware of that.
I'm excited to host a playoff game like we always do.
I think people are saying like, "Oh, the Eagles don't deserve a home playoff game. They're trash." I'm telling you right now, Fauci is saying the vaccine could be ready in November. Dr. Fauci is saying this vaccine can be ready in November.
Oh yeah, because aren't they moving into like the final stage or something?
I don't know. I saw the headline. I was talking to my like academic advisor here, and he's like, "Yeah," or no, I was talking to my mom, or something. I was talking to someone, they're like, yeah, it looks like the vaccine could be ready in November. Still, that doesn't mean it's going to be widespread, but I'm telling you, you get that vaccine, Eagles fans are going to get that as fast as they can, and if they can be in the stands for a home playoff game come the first week of January, the Eagles win that first round playoff game.
I believe it. I also think it'll be hard for their team to actually like hear.
No, yeah, after going a whole season not used to any of that.
Yeah. But at the same moment, like you could argue that for like everyone.
Yeah, but you know Eagles fans are different.
Sure.
Eagles fans we're a different breed. I just wrote a whole essay on us for my English class.
Oh, is that the thing you interviewed me on?
Yeah, do you want me to read an excerpt of it for you?
Sure, man.
I'll pass. Maybe at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of the show if we wanna get into it. It's a pretty bad essay. I'll give you that, but it was worth 20% of my grade, and I worked hard on it.
Oh, wait. Seth thought OJ did it. Seth thought OJ did it.
Really? Can you bring him over here and just have him explain his case?
You want to get in this and explain to us why you think OJ is guilty?
Well, he had Nicole's DNA from her blood on him.
Can you come closer to the microphone, please?
Come closer, please.
He had Nicole and Ron's DNA on him.
Mm-hmm.
The Bronco wasn't there when the limo driver showed up, and then the limo driver 15 minutes later says the Bronco is there. And then I forget the rest now that I think about it. I want to be pressure.
But can I ask you about the gloves?
Yes, I believe that OJ stopped taking his arthritis medication, causing his hands to swell.
I argued that why would he do that? If he was a football player, he was a running back, he needs that or else he's going to be in pain all the time.
But what I was thinking is you deal with the pain so you don't spend the rest of your life in prison.
Okay. So, here's the deal. I just found this glove in my room for the listeners at home. And I have an average size hand. And I'm not a criminal, but my hand fits into this glove. It's snug like a mitten. So why couldn't OJ do that? Because it wasn't his glove. See, this is my glove, and that's why it fits, because it's my glove.
His fingers inflamed a little, dude. Like, that wouldn't change the cause from not being able to have the glove stopped, like, mid, wrist. It was at the length of his fingers.
His hands were puffy.
It was at the length of his fingers, though.
But
he made a fist. So it was at the length of his fingers, so the glove came halfway down his hand. So obviously it didn't fit.
But also they had the footprint of the size 12, which he wore.
Yeah, but the detective took those shoes home for 6 hours, which he never did with evidence ever before.
Yeah, so a little bit fishy.
You want to make any other arguments?
Yeah, I think
for conspiracies on them.
I'm just trying to think of the show again.
For the viewers, I watched the whole OJ versus, what was it called?
People versus OJ.
People versus OJ Simpson on Netflix.
Yeah.
All yesterday. So.
You watch it again?
I watched it again just to familiarize myself with it.
Oh yeah, I mean this is everyday conversation. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we're reaching halftime of the show, so we'll be back in a minute. right, and we're back. And we've got sports back pretty much every day now. And if you want to support the 12-ounce sports team, there's an easy way to get in on the action. 12-ounce sports is going to hook you up with a crazy deal when you sign up and make your first deposit on mybookie.ag. When you make that first deposit on mybookie.ag, they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 when you punch in the promo code 12-ounce sports. That's 12OZ sports. All caps, no spaces when signing up on mybookie.ag to get your first deposit match up to $1,000. And remember, always gamble responsibly.
Also sponsored by Patagonia.
A work in progress. But how's this AFC East looking, Tim? With Cam Newton playing a terrible game, do you think he's out another week just because of poor performance, or do you think they start him the rest of the way?
Nah, I agree with.
How did the Patriots navigate this?
Dude, what's their record right now? I know it fell below. It's what, 2-3?
They're 2-4.
They're 2-4. Okay. Well, you can't expect any we said this, right? We said in the beginning of the year that they're what? Maybe they will win out. I don't know.
I think we said in the beginning of the year, look, we got the Bills running away with the division, and then Patriots are going to be a wild card team, but they're 2 games below 500. Sorry?
You think the Patriots are going to be a wild card team, though?
I did at the beginning. I'm having some concerns now. I thought Cam exceeded my expectations early on, but now, he played terribly. And worse than Carson Wentz has been playing, and Wentz has been playing bad, and I love Wentz. So Cam threw, I think, 97 or 98 yards and three whole interceptions before they benched him. They're now 2-4, third in the division, and the Dolphins sit at 500 at 3-3. And the Dolphins will be coming off a bye to play the Rams, with Tua making his first start after his first appearance last week in garbage time. So, do the Patriots recover? Do they bounce back, win the next 2, get back to 500, and are back on track?
I don't think they're beating the Bills. I see them beating the Jets because the Jets.
No, the Jets. The Jets. Yeah, no, the Jets are terrible. The Jets are going to have the first pick in the draft.
I think Ravens Patriots will actually kind of be an interesting game in the sense that if the Ravens can figure out what they need to do, and the Patriots can try and turn around too, because these are 2 pivotal moments in the season. Or I guess it's a pivotal moment for the Ravens.
Do you think the Patriots they're going to look to get a new quarterback and just let Cam hit the market again? I feel like they brought Cam in because they knew. I feel like
it depends on what their record is, right? Because if they don't have a terrible enough record to get a top QB in the draft that they actually want. Regardless, I think Belichick drafts really well. They drafted Jimmy G and both Tom Brady, who I think are good. They're both good quarterbacks.
Yeah, but regardless of
I feel
record,
like they put themselves in a tricky position if they try to go 8-8 or something, or 7-9.
Cam has not thrown a touchdown in a month.
I believe it. He also had COVID for however long.
Okay,
for
so
half that month.
He played.
I somewhat agree with Dave Portnoy when Dave Portnoy says Cam still has COVID. That's why he's playing so bad.
See that?
Because that's what I want to believe.
I think we're seeing why it took so long for teams to sign him into the offseason. Because this is what he is. Past 3 games he's played. Let's look at it. Past 3 games, he has 1 touchdown to 6 interceptions.
That is...
The regular season, he has 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
What about yards?
yards this season, he sits 31 yards under 1,000 at 969.
In how many starts?
Let's see. What is that? So 1, 2, 3, 5. So he's throwing
Yeah, so
under
he's just
200 a
doing
game.
he's doing like a little below average work. And then his interceptions are on like yardage, and then his interceptions to touchdowns is terrible. So it makes sense.
Okay, so between these quarterbacks, who are you taking? You know Cam's stats.
If you say Nick Foles already, I'm taking Nick Foles.
No.
I just want to state that the Rams at some point had to beat Nick Foles. At some point.
No. I thought that the Bears were going to lose last
You
night.
can't.
I
You
didn't
can't win them
to
all.
lose in that fashion, but yeah. Sorry, let me pull this up. Okay. Who are you taking from these quarterbacks? So you know Cam's stats, we just said it. Let me remind you of it. 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 996 yards on the season.
Okay.
Quarterback 2, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and over 1,700 yards. And quarterback 3, over 1,700 yards, 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Who do you take?
I feel like this is a trick question, bro. I don't know. I mean,
I feel
I'll
like
take 3.
you're going to take 3?
Yeah, because for some reason I feel like it's a trick question.
With 1,700 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, you're taking quarterback 3?
Over, what did number 2 have?
Number 2, 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Oh, I'll take that guy.
So you're taking Derek Carr over Carson Wentz and Cam Newton.
Yep.
Are the Raiders a real team? Do you like the Raiders right now?
No. I mean, I don't think they're really going to do anything again. I think they're going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they put up a subpar performance against the Bucs, and I think we're seeing the Bucs start to click. The Bucs are looking great. But the Raiders, the rest of the way, don't have a hard schedule. All right? The Raiders, the rest of the way, have the Browns, Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs, Falcons, Jets, Colts, Chargers again, Dolphins, and Broncos. Can they make a run?
That is an easy schedule.
Yeah, so what do you think? I mean,
They have 3 losses.
Yeah, and they've lost to good teams. Okay, they lost to the Bills. They beat the Saints.
They should have lost. They probably should have ended up losing to the Chiefs, but they pulled that. They pulled that one. I mean, it was 40-32, but
it's still the Chiefs.
No, I'm saying the Chiefs like probably should have won that game. Like if you looked at this, I feel like they should be like 2-4, but they're 3-3. They snuck by the Chiefs somehow. Is what I'm saying.
I thought they had a good game.
I mean, I'm not taking the Raiders of the Chiefs again for the next 9 games.
Oh, I'm not going to either. I'm not going to say that the Raiders are going to win the division, but I think they're looking good, and I think that they're getting overshadowed from being in a new market.
I mean, yeah, they're looking,
and they're losing some fans from that.
I mean, like let's look at the other teams that are 3-3. Detroit. Just Detroit and Miami.
All right, Detroit should not have won against Atlanta.
I mean, yeah. And you hate to see it. I hate to see
John
it.
Gurley
That's
just
like
tripped into the end zone.
I hate to see that he messed up on scoring a touchdown.
Like, so
Because he should have learned. He should have learned from the previous day.
He's done that same play before. When he was on the Rams, he ran along the side to run out the clock against I forget who. It was like just 2 years ago.
What, and scored a touchdown?
He Gurley knew exactly what to do and run on the side of the end zone to run the clock down.
Hmm.
So like, it's not like he tried. You could see he like tried to stop, but it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, you think that would be the worst? Yeah. But it is what it is. I mean, that's something. I feel like the NFL just as a whole there's a lot of teams who can run with it this year. But I think we'll see around week 13.
Run the ball, or like run with what?
Like just have a good season in general, but like expanded playoffs. I think more teams, of course, obviously more teams have a shot at making the playoffs because of that. I'm saying realistic contenders who, once they get there, can compete with the other best teams in the league. And I'm not talking about run with it like Daniel Jones runs with it. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying get it, run 80 yards and trip, but I'm saying take it pretty far.
So who's in your Super Bowl bubble?
All right. In the NFC, teams that I believe can make the Super Bowl, give me Packers, Bucks, Seahawks. And in the AFC, give me Steelers, Titans, Chiefs. Those are 6 teams. I think they can all realistically get there. All the other teams, they're missing something, and they'll need to show me something more.
I actually really agree with that. I don't think Buffalo has what it takes to get to a Super Bowl. I think they're a good team.
I think they're a great team, but I think
if they are in that position. I just don't think they would get to it.
Yeah, I don't think that they're there yet. I think they're great. They'll win the division, as we said, but they're not there yet.
And not Baltimore.
No, Baltimore, their passing game has fallen off, and they're not the same team as they were
last year. They're still 5-1. So they've obviously proved something.
Yeah. But here's...
With a 38-6 win over the Browns.
Yeah.
33-16. I mean...
And then, the Cardinals are a 5-win team right now, but they're not a Super Bowl team. I mean, they beat the Seahawks the other night.
Oh, they're a playoff team. I just don't think they're
Yeah. No, this NFC West, I think we said this in our first episode. If the Cardinals are the worst team in that division, this team is scary. And here are the records right now in the NFC West. 5-1 Seahawks, 5-2 Cardinals, 5-2 Rams, and 4-3 Niners. So this division's lethal.
Sucks they're all in the division.
It's possible for them to all make it, though. I mean, the Bears are going to start falling off.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because the Bears keep winning games by, trailing by 13 points. If they win another one, they, get the record for most games.
Yeah.
Not even, halfway through the season.
The Saints are not a Super Bowl team. I don't even think they're a conference championship team. Would you agree with that? Do you think this is Breeze's last year? Do you think this could be Breeze's last year?
For sure. I don't think you can see how Breeze has declined. I mean, his complete. I mean,
It's more than just Breeze too. The team, Breeze is a big part of it, but the team's not there. I think you can agree. I mean,
yeah.
you see that Breeze 3 heartbreaking losses in the playoffs: Minneapolis Miracle, the missed pass interference, and then another offensive pass interference that wasn't called the last year to the Vikings. I think Breeze has to just say, you know what, I'm not going to win another Super Bowl. And
Yeah, no, I think the whole team has to realize that because they were like it was in for them like for like 3 straight years.
Yeah.
And then every year they messed it up. And you can't be consistently good for that long.
Yeah. We brought it up. We're coming in the last 10 minutes of the show, and here's something that I want to get into. Because as much as I love watching my Eagles win, I love watching the Cowboys lose. And we saw them lose bad. Very badly. To the Washington football team that puts the Eagles in first place in the division. And it's offense and defense. Even if Andy Dalton didn't get hurt, I didn't see the Cowboys do anything more than they did. They got on a plane. They traveled to Washington to score a field goal. That's all they did, which isn't fun. Andy Dalton just got a concussion after getting completely rocked. You saw
it looked like Chris Kyle was back from the dead, just completely murked him out of nowhere.
Yeah, like it was kind of like when Kiko Alonso rocked Joe Flacco. It was a dirty hit, but we wish fast recovery for Dalton. But do you notice how the Cowboys didn't do a single thing about it? No player on the field went up to the guy.
Oh yeah, no one
stood up for Dalton. They just let it happen. And I think that's a huge issue for Dallas, their culture, and their coaching staff.
Yeah. I don't know what it says about their team chemistry.
Yeah. Their defense doesn't click. Their offense can't do anything. Zeke fumbles.
How many fumbles does he have this season?
Too many for an elite running back, for a guy who's considered to be top 1 or 2.
Top. Yeah.
So it's something crazy, and I think we're going to see the Eagles run away with this division now. All right, the Eagles' next game, Sunday night, home versus Dallas, and then bye week and Giants. So I think the Eagles are going to get back to 500, a 500 record at 4-4-1.
After that bye week, a lot of their players are coming back.
Yeah, we're seeing Jalen Reagor come back. But back to this Cowboys dilemma. Do you think we're going to see them try to get a quarterback to salvage their season before the trade deadline? Now, hear me out on this. There's one guy that I think can save their season if they trade for him. And I'm scared.
Josh Rosen.
No, I'm scared if they get him. I don't think they will. This is a high take. But I'm scared for the Eagles. If the Cowboys can get Jameis Winston from the Saints. Super high take, but imagine if that happens.
I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the Cowboys they're ready to. They're gonna move on from Dak. I think they're gonna get a young guy in the draft. I think Jerry Jones is accepting. Yeah, I think Jerry Jones is accepting that. You know what?
I mean, he said Dak is worthy of whatever you put on a piece of paper, relatively speaking.
Yeah, but now we're seeing Dak get hurt, and the team. Dak's value is rising from him not playing. And if he wasn't willing to give him the money at the beginning of the season, when he was healthy, I don't know how you can pay him it more now.
Yeah, it's true. He did prove something though. He can put up yards. He can put up yards, and he did prove that this season. but he
But
didn't
we,
lead the
we
team.
we said this last week. Yards don't mean much.
Yeah, but yards don't mean much if you're not winning.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he proved he can put up yards, and
Yeah.
either way you want to take that. I
But
mean,
he had no excuse not to put up yards.
yeah. I mean, Jameis Winston also puts up yards. If you put Jameis Winston in there, I'm sure he'd probably get more yards than Dak,
No,
considering he's
yeah.
like
Last
that's
year,
what he
Jameis
does.
Winston was the only quarterback with more yards than Dak.
Because he constantly threw it.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying like Jameis Winston's the guy for the quarterback for the Cowboys.
But who do you think? Who do you think is realistically better, Dak or Jameis Winston?
Realistically, which one of them has ever
No,
led
no,
the
no,
league
no.
in touchdown passes?
Theoretically.
All right, which one of them has led the league in touchdown passes?
Winston.
Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than Dak.
Huh.
I mean, that's just. What did he win?
I mean-
The Bucks went 7-9 last year, and Cowboys went 8-8. So they both had elite receiving arsenals as their weapons. They both had a reliable tight end in O.J. Howard, and then what's his name?
Dak
Jason
definitely.
Witten. So
I mean, who do you think? How many percentage of the snaps do you think Ezekiel took? Like, yeah, that's what I mean.
dude,
Like
he's
relative, like running backs in the running game. What do you think the percentage was?
he's on the field like every play.
No, I mean like when he actually runs the ball
I have no idea.
and they don't throw it.
I don't know.
Because I would like to look at the difference between how much the Bucks run it versus how much.
Oh, the Cowboys definitely run it more.
Yeah.
I mean, Bruce Arians isn't.
You could just make that assumption saying that, Jameis Winston only had that many touchdowns because their running game was shit. And they had all these elite receivers, so they're going to throw it to the elite receivers.
Yeah, but you still have to have a quarterback who can handle
When you're
that.
throwing it up that much, obviously when he's throwing it up that much, obviously there's a 50-50 balls. He just threw up 50-50 balls. That's why he was 30 for 30.
Yeah, I guess 36 for 30, I believe, was the final number. All right. Any final thoughts coming to the end of the show?
My hot take is the Cowboys' third string QB is going to get injured. And then they're going to actually have to resort to
Really shop for a guy?
I don't know. Well, that's my prediction.
I mean, he is going up against a really tough Eagles defensive line. So,
I mean, didn't the Eagles injure Tony Romo all those years back and end his career? I'm pretty sure they did. Because he was never the same after that.
Yeah, well.
So let's two times.
I'll take that high take because this guy's looking like a scrub that they're putting on the field against Fletcher Cox. Brandon Graham is having a career season, and it's going unnoticed.
Yeah, of course it's going unnoticed.
But with that comes the conclusion of this episode of High Takes. And we appreciate you all for listening. Shondor, thanks for being our biggest fan. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you next week.
Could have won up to $50.